Next time you finish a satisfying book, pause. Think about what you learned and how you changed. Words and stories, they simply carry so much more emotions than lectures do. Hello there, my name is Mong Mai Ha from class 7A12, Kim Home Secondary School, Cao Leng Ward, Dong Thap Province. Dreaming is part of life. Accomplishing big dreams is worth a debate. As for me, my dream has always been to become an inspiring author, being able to help people change and become better versions of themselves through stories. In today's video, I'm going to explain the action plans for my dream and the first concrete action I took, as well as the plan for my next 2 years and how this dream of mine will impact the community altogether. Okay, so what are we waiting for? Let's begin. So to make my dream even more attainable, I've outlined a path with 5 viable milestones. On February 14, 2026, I decided to take my first step, writing my characters' profiles. The plan? Simple. First, compile a list of what makes humans, like goals, fears, obstacles, strengths, weaknesses, relationships, backstory, internal conflicts, etc. Then fill in the details for each character. I planned for this process to take around 3 days, 3 hours each. 3 p.m. it was. I sat down at my desk, opened a blank document, and watched as the empty page stared back at me. At that time, procrastination felt unusually appealing, but I had promised myself I would begin, and fortunately, I did. My first struggle was deciding the female lead's misbelief, and not until I took a closer look at her childhood backstory did her misbelief actually started to emerge. The next 2 days, I fine-tuned most of the character profiles, but those of my female lead and a major supportive character had yet to be how it should have been, but they indeed served the purpose of letting me envision what might happen. Taking this first real step truly shifted my perspective. I discovered I was more persevering than I thought. Well, 3 uninterrupted hours of focused writing, me, quite unexpected. And I also realized I was much more of a perfectionist than I once assumed because I kept twisting the characters in order to avoid cliches. Right now, I see that writing is no easy stuff. Publishing a proper book demands much more than just creativity, resilience, innovation, and the courage to kill my darlings. It entails overcoming procrastination and accepting imperfection as part of growth. This experience fortified my commitment to my dream greatly because it's given me a start and naturally the joy of overcoming it. So what are my next steps? Well, I've drafted a specific plan for the upcoming 3 years. For the first year, 2026, I plan to accumulate real-life experiences and writing resources like writing advice and characterization guides, etc. Then, I will set everything in motion in May or June and finish the first draft in early 2027. Then, in 2027, I'll let the revision process begin. Revision often takes quite some time, so I'll try to finish refining by the end of 2027. Frankly speaking, I could track on fine-tuning for eternity if there is nothing to tell me to stop. And so I've created a revision checklist. When all the standards are checked, my goals for 2027 is accomplished. I'll also contact publishing houses like Kingdom Publishing House, for example. Afterwards, in 2028, having finished revising by myself, I'll seek honest advice from trusted family members, teachers, and some of the good pals. I'll let them read my story and appraise it using the revision checklist. Then, based on the feedback, I'll adjust my story and send a book to the publishing house I've contacted for evaluating and publication. This dream of mine will potentially help teenagers, those my age, change for the better. Well, according to my own experiences, I don't think any teenager would ever change as a result of a few lifeless lectures. They tend to only adjust their ways when they see how toxic it is. Therefore, if I get to portray the mistake in a character, maybe eventually they will start to see what they get wrong and what should be changed. This is not that hard because it's not like I have never made any mistake. By then, dream achieved. Uncovering my dream, confronting procrastination, taking action, and reflecting have all reset my views. Dreams can't remain up in the air forever, guys. They must be made real. My journey has just begun. The foundation has just been set for a big house to be built. Page by page, step by step, I'm building not only a future book, but also a better me. Don't ever give up, guys. If I can do it, if someone can do it, then you can do it. My other dream, here I come.